Noah's Ark and the Great Flood found in the book of Genesis verses 6-9. In the early days of humankind, the world was young and vibrant, filled with creatures and plants of every kind, all crafted by God's hand. But as time passed, humankind began to grow corrupt. People's hearts and minds turned away from God, becoming filled with wickedness and evil. Violence, greed, and hatred filled the earth, and people's thoughts were no longer on goodness or reverence for their Creator. As God observed His creation, He saw the evil that had overtaken the hearts of men and women. This sorrowed Him deeply, and He regretted creating humankind. The wickedness weighed heavily on God's heart, and He made a grave decision. He would cleanse the earth of all living creatures, both human and beast, to purge it of sin and evil. But among the people of earth, one man stood out as righteous and faithful, Noah. Noah was a man who walked with God and had not succumbed to the evil surrounding him. He was a man of integrity and obedience, and God's favor rested upon him. Seeing Noah's devotion, God decided to save him and his family from the impending destruction. God spoke to Noah, revealing His plan to bring a great flood upon the earth, a flood that would cover even the highest mountains, washing away all that lived. But God also shared with Noah His plan for salvation. He instructed Noah to build a massive ark, a vessel of safety to carry him, his family, and pairs of every living creature through the deluge. The ark was to be an immense structure, made from cypress wood and covered in pitch to make it waterproof. God provided Noah with specific instructions. The ark was to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, with rooms inside and 3 levels. It would have a roof, a window, and a door on its side. Without hesitation, Noah set to work, obeying every detail of God's command. For years, he labored on the ark, with only his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, by his side. People around him mocked and scoffed, bewildered by his commitment to such a bizarre task. Noah warned them of the coming flood, urging them to turn from their wicked ways and seek God, but they paid him no mind. As the ark neared completion, God instructed Noah to gather the animals. 2 of each kind, male and female, were to come into the ark, from the livestock to the birds and all creatures that moved along the ground. For certain animals, such as clean animals meant for offerings, Noah was to bring 7 pairs. God miraculously brought the animals to Noah, and they entered the ark by pairs, following God's divine order. Noah also gathered enough food to sustain his family and the animals during the time they would spend inside the ark. Then, when everything was ready, God told Noah to bring his family into the ark, his wife, his sons, and their wives. Together, they would be saved from the coming flood. Once Noah, his family, and the animals were safely inside, God shut the door of the ark, sealing them in. Then the heavens opened, and rain began to pour, a relentless, heavy rain that did not cease. Springs of water burst from beneath the earth, and rivers overflowed, joining the torrential downpour to cover the land. For 40 days and 40 nights, the floodwaters rose higher and higher, covering the earth, drowning even the tallest mountains. All life outside the ark perished, birds, livestock, wild animals, and all the people. The world was cleansed, and only Noah, his family, and the creatures aboard the ark survived. The waters continued to cover the earth for 150 days, but God had not forgotten Noah. In time, He caused a wind to pass over the waters, and gradually, they began to recede. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, and as the days passed, more land began to appear. After 40 days, Noah sent out a raven, but it found no place to land and returned to the ark. Then he sent out a dove, which also returned because the waters had not yet receded enough for it to find a resting place. A week later, Noah sent out the dove again, and this time it returned with an olive leaf in its beak, signaling that the waters had subsided and vegetation was beginning to reappear. Noah waited another week and sent out the dove once more. This time, it did not return, a sign that it had found a new home in the freshly uncovered earth. At last, God spoke to Noah, telling him to come out of the ark with his family and all the animals. Joyfully, they emerged into a cleansed world, a world reborn after the flood. Grateful for God's mercy and deliverance, Noah built an altar and offered burnt offerings from the clean animals as a sacrifice to God. The fragrance of Noah's offering pleased God, and he made a covenant with Noah, promising never again to destroy all life on earth with a flood. God blessed Noah and his family, telling them to be fruitful and multiply, filling the earth once more. As a sign of this covenant, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a beautiful arc of colors that would serve as a reminder of his promise. Whenever rain fell and a rainbow appeared, people would remember God's mercy and his commitment to protect life. From that day on, the rainbow became a symbol of hope and God's enduring promise to humanity. Through Noah's obedience and faith, a new chapter began for the world, one built upon the lessons of the past, with a covenant that would stand the test of time. And so, Noah and his family continued their journey, repopulating the earth and passing down the story of the great flood and God's promise. Generations would come to know the story of Noah's Ark, and the rainbow would forever be a symbol of God's mercy, hope, and faithfulness to his creation.